All right, we've been fighting this detonation problem ever since we got the turbo running good.
Detonation? Not. We're talking pre-ignition. Way bad.
And the very first time I got the turbo running full manifold pressure, I went over to Florence on the coast, and when I took off out of there, huge detonation set. It just violently started shaking. I pulled out the power, circled back around, landed to figure out what was going on. And perhaps that incident maybe busted some rings. So I did my compression check, and cylinder 1 here is at 90, 2 is 100, 3 is 110, and 4 is 120. So that's my compression. And number 1, the times I've sat on the ground, run the engine to detonation, and just hold it where it's detonating, not super hard, but it's still detonating, that's cylinder 1 is where I saw the CHT start spiking up. So I'm assuming the rings are broken and causing extra heat or something like that and making it detonate. So I'm going to pop this baby off and see what it looks like on the inside. The scoring is just right on that one side right there. See the racing stripes. There's all this buildup, all this crap, all this carbon. And I don't know if that's just oil, because that's where the oil sets. You know, when the motor's sitting here like this, and the oil builds up down there and burns off. Now, this one doesn't have any kind of buildup around the top of the head here, and I just think that crap's sitting up there glowing and pre-igniting. I mean, look at that. That is huge. Number 2 here is nice and clean. Looks great. But man, look at number 1. Look at all that. Look at all that buildup right there. I think that's glowing red hot and igniting. Where'd that buildup come from? I mean, look at this stuff. That is a lot of crap. And it is hard chunks, man. It's a rock. I think that's the source of my detonation. I bet my rings are fine. My compression's low, so I'll do the rings anyway, but that's it. I think that's it. What is that? Whoops. Oh, there it is. What is that? That's not good. That was the boo-boo. And this cylinder has always been high oil usage. So that explains that.
So I overlapped my oil ring on assembly. The end snapped off and it started cutting a groove inside that cylinder. Led to high oil usage and low compression. And I sent the photograph of that gunk on my head to Ryan, the mechanic, and he said, "Hey, it looks like lead buildup." So I think the extra oil there and my long idle time for warm-up allowed the head to stay cool right there. The head to stay cool and lead to condensate. And it never ran hard enough to break that lead off, and it just kept building up right there. And eventually under high loads and high power settings, it would start glowing and detonating. We're going with that idea.
Okay, I got my hone. Zach helped me bend my little stands right here.
Yep.
I'm going to put this stand right here, and that's going to hold it up. I'm going to fill my little tray here full of diesel fuel, and that will clean the honing guts out. And there's my hone and my drill. Okay, it looks like I didn't get all the scoring out, but I can't feel the scoring, and I don't want to hone it anymore, so I think I'm going to call it good. Yeah, it came out pretty good. Got a little bit right there. All right, looks good. One more. One more little issue here. I got my turbo. The mount was a little bit close to the turbo was a little bit close to the engine mount, so I gotta work on getting a little bit more room there. So we're getting everything fixed up all at once. So this baby's gonna be ready to fly. Hey, that was a good little test. I changed my manifold to these compression fittings, and the hose fell out. So I was running with a big huge leak in my intake right there. So part of my fuel air mixture, I was blowing out my right there, blowing it out. So I'm shocked it ran that good. That's interesting, huh?